I didn't even know that was even going on. I couldn't believe that even happened.
Neighbors stunned after a horrific case of child abuse coming to light. Police are calling it one of the worst they have seen. Tonight, a St. Charles County mother and father are behind bars accused of locking up, beating, and starving their 3 children.
Police say conditions inside the home were dangerous and so unsanitary. No bedding on the mattresses, strong smells of urine, clutter, and debris everywhere, but no toys or children's clothes. After a months-long investigation, Amberly Britton and Mark Myers are now in jail. Our Russell Kinsall is digging into this shocking case.
That just blows my mind.
Mindy Davis lives near a trailer home in the O'Fallon, Missouri area where police say children suffered horrendous child abuse. St. Charles County Police started investigating Amber Britton and Mark Myers after one of their 3 children recently showed up at school with a significant cut. At the home, investigators say they found that kitchen cabinets and a refrigerator were secured with locks, and children were denied regular access to food and were forced to break locks on cabinets to eat. Investigators say the children were told never to reveal what happened in the home.
I didn't even know that was even going on. I couldn't believe that even happened. That shocked me so bad when that happened.
According to court documents, a 13-year-old told investigators about experiencing pain and vomiting from severe hunger and then being punished. Investigators say the children told them that they were regularly beaten with objects. Police say they found a large amount of meth in the house, and both Britton and Myers blamed the children and showed no remorse. Police said the children told them that they were regularly locked in their bedrooms, sometimes overnight. According to investigators, locks were also found on each bedroom door, which required fingerprints to access, and that the children were left to take care of themselves.
The one, he was out playing in the dark one night, and I made him go home.
Police said the house was unsanitary, lacked heat, and was determined to be uninhabitable. In St. Charles County, Russell Kinsall, First Alert 4.